Now we are going to install the Equirope, but we first need to drill the posts and insert some tubing to insulate it. So we start off with a 19mm bit, because I happen to have some 19mm tubing which will fit through the hole then. It is important that if the tubing you use is loose, to always put a little bit of liquid nails to prevent it from working its way out. Now we get our tubing we've chosen. We need to leave about an inch out either side. So we first pre-bend the pipe straight, because it tends to have, if you round it off the roll. We then measure the post and put around about an inch either side. We then have a mallet which we use to tap it through. We can now trim this neatly, make it even. The insulator is installed. Now that we've shown you how to fit the insulators inside the post, I want to show you what you can use if you're going to run across the front face of the post. We have our insulator, which stands out from the rest, the I-20F. This can be screwed in the front face of the post with a insulation driver we can also supply to go into the rechargeable drill, and simply what it does is it takes it right into this post, and you can run your product through the front of there, your electric rope, and it's insulated from your post. With most insulators similar to this on the market, what you find is that the steel section comes in to the plastic and ends about 10 or 12 millimeters in. What happens is when there's an impact or something happens, this can pull off the end and you have a very, very sharp, jagged edge which will very easily catch the coat of a horse and tear it. These ones have got an iron heart. That is, the steel runs all the way around that eye, showing that there's no ways that plastic can pull off the core of steel. Now I'm going to show you how to install a roller post insulator. These roller post insulators are not your standard insulator. They're made of a glass filled nylon, not a polyethylene that'll break when the product is under tension. So it's made especially from high strength, with the glass filled pin acting as a shear pin on severe impacts. That little roller allows it, when you tension it up, as you'll observe later, it allows it to roll around there, and that's why we use it on the corners as well. So when we get to the bottom corner, we then run around this roller at 90 degrees. This is how you fit it. You obviously have marked your post, and you get a good screw, a good galvanized screw. You have your mark, which is already pre-marked here, and simply screw it in. One. Let's put that on our mark. Put in the hole. Now we're ready to install the rope. What we do is we take the plastic off it, we then insert it into its own carton with the tail going through the view hole, put it behind something heavier so it can't pull forward, and this acts as your dispenser. We can now walk this product out. We now take it, bypass the very first roller post insulator, and we immediately start putting it through all the line posts. Now we get to the corner, we take the product around the roller, We continue at 90 degrees. I'm now going to show you how to tension up the Equirope. What we do is we want to pull the sag out of it. So I put it through my roller post insulator and I lightly pull the sag out of it and put a temporary knot just to hold it. I then work on 2%. So 2% on 108 meters is 2160 millimeters, or 2.16. So I then take this and I measure back 2160 millimeters, which is over here. I get my insulation tape. Now I wrap some around at that point. That is my mark. I need to pull up into my insulator to get my 2% tension. Now we have the Equirope tensioner. This is made up of a jaw which only just fits onto the Equirope, but it fits very well and grabs very well. We also have the little ratchet tensioner. How we use this tensioner: we take the long end with the hook tied to it, we take it around our strainer post and back onto itself. We then pull it out and release using this tab, pushing it forwards towards the hook, release some rope through it. We then can put this jaw onto our product, so we push back, we get it onto the Equirope, and we can hook this through it. We're ready to start tightening. We have our mark here, which has to go back to the insulator. So simply we walk this up, this rope tensioner will hold our rope in position while we tie it off. It's critical that in tying it off we use the correct fittings when tying this product off. As we can see, we need to go just a little more. Here we go. Now that we've pulled up our 2% tension, we've got the insulation tape sticking through there, we can now tie it off using a KV 500. By loosening the screw, it opens up the two halves. Now we're going to tie it off using a KV 500. KV 500 ensures a very good conductivity between strands. So this KV 500 is also used if joining Equirope. So if you're running a roll and you have to join in the middle, you use a KV 500 in the same way as I'm using this here. Get the tail. If you are joining a rope, you'll be pulling it through just like that. You then tighten this up. And we are now ready to release the rope. A critical thing with the rope tensioner that needs to be taken account of is this tab is only plastic, and if you try and release it just by pushing, you will break the mechanism. So it is important that before pushing this button, because it is under tension, that we get this rope, we pull back, we pull further and release the tension off there, and then we can release it like that. But you need to pull it tighter before you push the tab You need to release the tension of it.